Sleep preparation. This occurs in two separate stages, preparing the body and preparing the environment. In doing this, the individual engages in preparing the body by brushing teeth or washing their face. The individual engages in preparing the environment by ensuring that it is a comfortable and secure environment. This would require a comfortable bed or place to lay their body down horizontally. Furthermore, this would also include eliminating arousing stimuli that could hinder an individual's preparation for sleep. For example, turning out the lights to reduce the sensory stimuli as well as putting electronics away. Other than those tangible items that can be physically altered, preparing for sleep also requires the conscious decision to go to sleep, which could begin with a prayer or meditation to calm the mind and reach a relaxed state before lying down to go to sleep. Object demands. The objects include cell phone, toothbrush, toothpaste, towel, bed, face soap, water, pillow, and blanket. The tools are the toothbrush, towel, and cell phone. The supplies are the toothpaste and the face soap. The equipment includes the sink, bed, pillow, blanket, and lights. The properties include warm water and liquid face soap.
There are several space demands that we looked into for successful completion of the task and in order for Kathy to get her 6 to 8 hours of good night's sleep. First is lighting. There should be adequate lighting for brushing her teeth, washing her face, walking around from the bathroom to the bedroom, and doing other activities that require light. However, there should be enough adequate darkness for sleeping in order for her to get her best night's sleep. Size. The sink must be at an appropriate height, as well as the bed, in order for her to sit and pray and to get in and out of with ease. Surface. There should be a space and surface to comfortably sleep on in order for her to get her best night's sleep. There should also be a place for her to set her materials down, such as the sink for her toothbrush and toothpaste, or the bedside table where she was able to set her phone and alarm clock. Temperature and humidity. It's important to create a space that is a comfortable temperature for the person to be able to fall asleep. Too hot or too cold might inhibit this. The noise level should be kept at a minimum to create an environment conducive for getting ready for bed and to eventually go to sleep and stay asleep.
The first part of Kathy's routine is brushing her teeth. In order to carry out this part of her routine, she needs adequate lighting, a toothbrush, toothpaste, and running water. She walks into the bathroom, turns on the faucet, puts toothpaste on her toothbrush, and turns the water back off. Then she brushes her teeth for 2 minutes. Brushing her teeth promotes healthy mental hygiene, giving Kathy clean teeth, which is appropriate for social norms and her overall self-image. After the 2 minutes is up, she rinses and spits back into the sink. Performance skills include motor, social interaction, and process. Motor skills are coordination, which is holding a toothbrush, aligning, binding a towel when washing face, reaches for the toothbrush and towel, bends when washing and spitting, grips and lifts the toothbrush, and walks to turn off the lights in the bedroom and the bathroom. Next part of her routine is washing her face. Again, adequate lighting and water is needed along with her face wash. This part of her routine takes another 2 minutes. When she is finished in the bathroom, she moves further into the bedroom. Sleep requires some kind of space for the individual to lay down. Next, Kathy must set her alarm. She picks up her phone, pulls up the alarm clock app, and sets a timer for the alarm. After this, she must set her phone back on the nightstand. When she sets away her electronics, she texts goodnight to end previous conversations and sets her phone aside. The next step is turning off the lights, where she must walk to the switch and flip the light switch off. For prayer, Kathy values her religious practice and therefore adds an aspect of that onto her bedtime routine. This may take as long or as little as she desires. She then settles into bed, where she pulls back the covers, lays down in the bed, and pulls the covers back over her body.
Context and environment. The context includes personal, temporal, and virtual. For our situation, the personal context is a teenager. The temporal context occurs in different stages of life. It is also at night. Virtual context is using the cell phone to tell someone goodnight and to set an alarm. The environment includes physical and social. For physical, it includes the bathroom and the bedroom. How far or close the bathroom is in relation to the bedroom, and looking at the location of the sink and how big/small the space is. The bedroom also includes how far or close the bed and the light switch are in proximity and how large or small the bedroom is. For social, it includes family and friends, when the mom comes into the room to tuck her in, and communicating with a friend before going to bed. Social demands. This is for proper interaction with those around us. You are able to communicate because you got a proper amount of sleep. Saying goodnight, a social interaction that is appropriate to end a conversation with someone, especially at night. Say a prayer before bed, religious practice associated with one's cultural context. Texting goodnight, if the communication is through technology, in order to end a conversation at night, this would be appropriate.
Mental functions include sequencing complex movements, perception, higher-level cognitive functions, and attention. Global mental functions include sleep and orientation. Sensory functions include visual, touch, temperature, and pressure. Neuromusculoskeletal and movement-related functions include joint mobility and joint stability. Muscle functions include muscle endurance and muscle power. Movement functions include control of voluntary movement and gait patterns. Cardiovascular, hematological, immunological, and respiratory system functions include respiratory system and cardiovascular system. Voice and speech, digestive, metabolic, and endocrine systems, and genitourinary and reproductive systems include digestive, metabolic, and endocrine system, and voice and speech functions. Skin and related structure functions include skin, hair, and nails. Downgrades that could be implemented for her bedtime routine to ease the process are changing to an electric toothbrush and using an electric toothpaste dispenser while brushing teeth, or using sensory activated lights when getting ready to settle into bed. Possible upgrades that make this more challenging include less than adequate lighting for brushing teeth and washing face, no access to running water, or having a low quality bed or no bed at all. The type of intervention approach for this activity would be maintained. The intervention is designed to preserve the client's abilities or body functions or their ability to meet daily occupational needs. This is used when the client is at risk for decrease in performance, health, or well-being.
For client factors, beliefs include brushing your teeth every day and washing your face. Values would be taking care of your body by keeping good oral and skin health, getting enough rest to prepare your body for the next day. Spirituality would include praying before going to bed. Performance patterns include individual and groups. For individuals, routines would be preparing for bed, and rituals would be praying before going to bed. Groups routines would be texting a friend goodnight, and rituals would be mom tucking the child in bed. Social interaction is concluding and disengaging with the goodnight text message, and touches with her mom. Processing includes handles the toothbrush, uses the toothbrush for brushing her teeth, pacing when brushing her teeth, sequencing, which is order for brushing her teeth, gathers, the material for brushing her teeth, terminates, stops brushing her teeth once they are all clean, and searches and locates for the materials to brush her teeth and clean her face. She organizes the materials to brush her teeth and clean her face all closely together.
Modifications and adaptations include adding a gripper to the toothbrush, putting a chair at the sink so they can sit and wash their face or brush their teeth, using an alarm clock rather than a touchscreen phone, having a light next to your bed to turn off rather than walk to turn the lights off. For our scenario, there were two major outcomes: health and wellness and well-being. Health and wellness is reaching a state of physical well-being, gaining optimal use of physical abilities, and having a positive mental and social state. Well-being is the person is content with his or her health, security, sense of belonging, and self-esteem. Some examples: getting a good night's sleep, 6 to 8 hours, healthy and clean teeth, good oral health, having healthy and clean skin, being socially accepted, and the ability to be more alert throughout the day.
Here, when Kathy is brushing her teeth, she abducts the arm at the shoulder joint in the frontal plane on an anterior-posterior axis using the anterior deltoid and the supraspinatus muscles. She is flexing the arm at the shoulder joint at the sagittal plane on a mediolateral axis using the coracobrachialis, pectoralis major, supraspinatus, and biceps brachii. She is upwardly rotating the scapula at the scapulocostal joint in a transverse plane on a superior-inferior axis using upper trapezius and serratus anterior muscles. She is flexing the forearm at the elbow joint at the sagittal plane on a mediolateral axis using the biceps brachii, brachialis, brachioradialis, and pronator teres muscles. Her forearm is pronated at the elbow joint in a transverse plane on a superior-inferior axis using the brachioradialis, pronator teres, and pronator quadratus. Her hand is ulnarly deviated at the wrist joint in a frontal plane on an anterior-posterior axis with the flexor carpi ulnaris and extensor carpi ulnaris. Her digits are flexed in a sagittal plane on a mediolateral axis at the carpometacarpal, metacarpal, interphalangeal, distal interphalangeal, and proximal interphalangeal joints with the flexor digiti minimi manus, flexor digitorum superficialis, flexor digitorum profundus, and lumbricoles manus. Her thumb is extended in the frontal plane on an anterior-posterior axis, and the muscles involved are the abductor pollicis longus at the carpometacarpal joint, extensor pollicis brevis at the carpometacarpal joint, and the extensor pollicis longus at the carpometacarpal, metacarpal, and interphalangeal joints. In order for optimal brushing, while standing at the sink, her legs are extended at the hip joint and her thighs are extended at the knee joint. Both are in a sagittal plane on a mediolateral axis. Her mandible is depressed, she is standing erect, and her trunk and core are stabilized. While standing at the sink, her thighs are extended at the hip joint and her legs are extended at the knee joint. Both are in a sagittal plane on a mediolateral axis. Her mandible is depressed, she is standing erect, and her trunk and core are stabilized.